Never expect more than you worked for. There was a season in my life when I expected results I had not earned. I wanted growth without discomfort, success without consistency, connection without vulnerability, peace without doing the internal work. And when those things did not show up the way I imagined, I felt frustrated, disappointed, sometimes even resentful. But eventually, I had to face a hard truth. Expectation without effort breeds disappointment. And that lesson changed how I approach almost everything. Effort builds alignment. We all have dreams, goals, desires, vision boards full of possibility. But wanting something is not the same as working toward it. There is nothing wrong with ambition. In fact, ambition can be healthy and motivating. The problem begins when expectation outpaces action. If we want deeper relationships, we have to practice communication and emotional honesty. If we want physical strength, we have to move our bodies. If we want career growth, we have to develop skills and consistency. Alignment between effort and expectation creates peace. Misalignment creates frustration. I had to learn this personally. There were moments when I wanted to be seen differently without changing my behavior. I wanted trust without rebuilding credibility. I wanted confidence without confronting insecurity. It did not work. Growth required effort, honest reflection, consistent action, repetition, the uncomfortable kind. Once I accepted that, something shifted. Instead of feeling entitled to outcomes, I focused on earning them. And that shift empowered me because effort is something we control. Discipline creates self respect. There is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you showed up fully, not perfectly, not flawlessly, but consistently. Discipline is not punishment. It is commitment to your future self. When you follow through on what you say you will do, trust builds internally. That internal trust strengthens resilience. It reduces anxiety. It increases clarity. Self respect grows from keeping promises to yourself. And that foundation supports sustainable success. Expectations without work can damage relationships. This lesson extends beyond career and goals. It applies deeply to relationships. Expecting loyalty without offering it, expecting communication without practicing it, expecting emotional safety without creating it. Relationships thrive on reciprocity. When we expect more than we contribute, imbalance flows, resentment builds, connection weakens. But when we invest effort intentionally, relationships strengthen naturally. Contribution matters. Patience is part of the process. One of the hardest parts of growth is timing. We live in a culture that celebrates immediate results, overnight success, quick transformations. But meaningful change rarely happens instantly. Skill takes practice. Trust takes time. Confidence takes repetition. Healing takes consistency. When we commit to the process instead of obsessing over outcomes, progress feels steadier, and steadiness builds endurance. Effort is empowering. There is something deeply empowering about knowing your results are connected to your effort. It removes helplessness. It reminds you that you are not waiting for luck. You are building momentum. You are shaping your future through action. That mindset transforms disappointment into motivation. Instead of asking, why is this not happening for me? You begin asking, what can I do differently? That question opens doors. Grace still matters. This is important. Working for something does not mean harsh self-criticism. It does not mean burnout. It does not mean perfectionism. It means intention. It means effort aligned with values. It means understanding that growth requires participation. Grace and accountability can coexist. You can be patient with yourself while still showing up consistently. That balance is powerful. You get what you build. Results reflect patterns, daily habits, repeated choices, consistent action. When we focus on building strong patterns, outcomes become more predictable, not guaranteed, but aligned. And when outcomes do not match effort, we adjust, we refine. Growth becomes dynamic instead of discouraging. That shift keeps momentum alive. Slay reflection. Let's reflect, Slayer. S. Where in your life are your expectations outpacing your effort? L. What small daily action could bring your effort into alignment with your goals? A. How does following through on commitments impact your self-trust? Why? What would change if you focused more on building than expecting? Call to action. Join the conversation. I'd love to hear from you. What goal in your life shifted once you committed to matching your effort with your expectations? Share your story in the comments. Let's cheer each other on. And if you know someone feeling discouraged about slow progress, send this to them. Sometimes all we need is a nudge. I'm Carrie Genzel, reading a blog from stateofslay.com. Slay on.